Okay, so let me see here. I have a few things I want to talk about. Welcome everybody. And we're pretty excited about tonight's call because besides those beautiful faces that we see tonight, which we love when you join us, thank you for taking the time. It helps when we have a face to talk to because the three of us talk at each other's face all the time. So we love when you guys join us. And those of you who are watching the recording, thank you for taking the time to watch this recording. And we hope it's all well worth your time. We're pretty sure it will be. We're excited about the information. A couple of things that we want to announce before we go into our lesson tonight. I don't know if you ladies have noticed, but we decided to add a few words to the title of our group. We are now called Saprk 7 Witchy Goddess Sister Tribe. Now, the reason we did that, a couple of reasons. We thought this was excellent timing because we are introducing the throat chakra tonight, which we as soul sparkers, we're calling the fifth spark. Now, that's all about speaking your truth and making choices that express your authenticity, right? So this is the perfect time to introduce a new name to our group because what we are noticing is there's quite an undertone in this group with all of you ladies of witchiness. Some witchiness going on. And there is definitely an overtone of goddessness. Definitely that going on. We are definitely sisters. We are here as sisters. We know that. That's a given. As women coming together, that's a given as sisters. But we decided to get really clear because we are working on the throat chakra. This is time to express our truth. The truth is all of us women here are witchy. We are moms. We are wives, we are lovers, we are daughters, we're sisters, we're witches, we're bitches, we're goddesses. We're all of that. And that's what we want to encompass here. It is our goal from here forward, it always has been, but we get to speak it. And we want this to be this group's purpose. As you invite your friends to join us, which we hope that you do because we're getting bigger and bigger, we hope and wish to inspire you to invite your friends. And as you do that, keep in mind that our purpose is to provide a safe, sacred space for women who want to develop their witchiness, who want to learn more tools about magic, and who are also ready to embrace their goddess energy. So keep that in mind. We want like-minded people. We're not about the quantity and having 1,000 women join us. We're about the quality. So as you invite your women friends, keep in mind, are they like-minded? And would they benefit? We want to create a win-win relationship. Would they benefit learning about magical tools? Now we still have our plans of learning a whole lot of stuff. This isn't just about learning witchy stuff or goddess stuff, but I think it all fits under the same category. I think all of you would agree with us. It all fits under the same category. We learn about feng shui, we learn about magic, we learn about creating magic tools, we learn about energy healing, we learn about crystals. We have some pretty great conversations, and what's really great, what I've noticed about this group, those of us who have dared to post when we are in our grungies, what we really get from this group is unconditional love, absolute support. When I was a puddle, just upset last month, I received a lot of love and light from this group. And there's been a few of us that have posted when we're in our grungies. And I noticed that the rest of us are right there having your back. So that's one of our announcements. That's where we're at. We are Saprk 7 Witchy Goddess Sister Tribe. And let's see, there was another announcement that's leaving my mind for now, but I might get to it. So what I want the newcomers to know as you listen to this recording, that the last several months in our group, we have been on a journey through our energy centers, and we soul sparkers call them our 7 sparks, our 7 main energy centers, which are also called our 7 main chakras. So we started with the first chakra and we've just kind of worked our way up. And now this entire month, the month of November, we are discussing the 5th spark right here, the throat chakra. Oh, I get hot just thinking about it. I don't know about you ladies, but this is a biggie for a lot of us. A lot of us women through the ages have been through hell trying to speak their truth. We got burned at the stake. We got our throat slit. We've been condemned. We've been hung. We've had a lot of things happen to our throat chakras as we speak up. And today's a different time. We get to stand in our power as the goddesses that we are, and we do get to speak our truth. And that means diving into this energy center and letting go of what is no longer serving you. What is holding you back from speaking your truth? All those fears, all those blockages, trauma from this lifetime and other lifetimes. Lots of trauma from past lifetimes as women that we're dealing with in the throat chakra. So we're going to introduce that tonight. Each of us have a little bit to share with you. What I would like to share with you about this energy center. This energy center, again, this is in your throat area. So it's going to affect everything on a physical level in this part of your body. So your thyroid, parathyroid, your mouth and teeth, and your hearing, your cervical vertebra, everything in this part of your body is affected. If this energy center is blocked, we might have problems with a lot of sore throats, with laryngitis, with hypothyroid, hyperthyroid, teeth and gum problems, maybe hearing in the ears. We might have problems with our hearing. So that's what it affects on a physical level. There's more. And it relates to speaking your truth. It relates to, let me back up a minute. It relates to communication. Now, there are 2 sides of communication. We have speaking, which is the masculine energy. Every energy center has a masculine energy and a feminine energy. That's the balance. That's the yin and yang in each energy center. So the masculine energy in the throat chakra is speaking our truth, having the courage to speak our truth. The feminine energy in our throat chakra is listening. So there's that balance in every energy center of the yin and the yang, the balance of male and female. And if we want the throat chakra to be balanced, then we get to learn how to speak our truth while at the same time, we allow others to speak their truth. We are providing a safe environment for others to speak their truth. As we talk about this for the next month, I just want to put a really important caution out there. As you practice becoming a better listener, that does not mean swallow other people's truth. That is so poisonous, so dangerous. So as we become better listeners, we're simply listening with compassion. We're listening without any judgment, and we're certainly listening without any expectation. And again, we're not listening so that somebody else can shove their truth down our throat. We're listening just to provide that safe space, because I believe that we all have the right to speak our truth. But rarely will our truth be in alignment with most people in our lives, right? That's just really rare. So practice speaking your truth and practice listening. The throat chakra, this spark, is also related to making choices. That's something that a lot of people don't dive into as far as the 5th chakra goes. Making choices that express your authenticity. which is your truth. Okay, this throat chakra is all about expression. So when we're making choices that don't express who we really are, when we're saying yes, when we're choosing yes, when we really want to say no, our throat chakra can get stuck. When we're saying no, when in the back we're going, oh, I wish I could say yes. Again, we are blocking our truth. We're blocking this fifth energy center. So the fifth energy center is about listening. It's about speaking. It's about making choices that express your authenticity. It's also related to expression in the form of writing or chanting. I personally love chanting. Chanting and writing and praying are three of my favorites. We also have singing, and we have drawing, painting, dancing, anything that expresses who you really are, however you do that. Maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a gardener. Whatever expresses your authenticity, that opens your throat chakra. That makes your fifth energy center sparkle the way you want it to sparkle. So I'm going to turn the time over to Autumn or True, whichever one of you. I guess we didn't decide a real flow here. We're kind of a flow, go with the flow kind of chicks. So who's next?
A for Autumn. A for Autumn. You know, the reason that many of us are on this path is that we are searching for our own truths. And truth, I have found in my lifetime that my truth will change or take on different identities, I guess, as I become more secure in who I am. And so learning to express and communicate your truth to yourself is the beginning of finding what your truth really is. And I'm a big believer that these truths or affirmations and ideas need to be spoken out loud. We often go into meditation and we do it silently as we search for the things that we believe in or the things that we want to embody within us. But speaking our truth to ourselves is super powerful when you use that voice out loud to express your beliefs. You know, it's those affirmations that I am blank. And you have the right to ask for the things that you want. I want, I need blank out loud. Communicates these ideas and thoughts to the universe that empowers you and gives you more strength from without yourself, you know, to bring about all of those things that you are embodying within yourself. And those words are things, they're very important. And so before you speak, put some thought into the words that you're using and some purpose. So, you know, really think about what it is you're saying out loud to yourself or to other people. And use your expression responsibly. We can all use words, and we can use words as weapons. Sometimes without meaning to, we hurt other people's feelings. So thinking about what you're going to say and expressing yourself with responsibility. Use words that add some real value to the conversation. You know, you want to be a person who uses words to build one another up. That's one of the beauties of this tribe. We use words to empower other women. We use words to express our love and appreciation. And that's something that Saprk 7 stands really strongly, that we use in our foundation as we built this business. Now, from a standpoint of house magic, which you all know I'm into the house magic, I'm a house witch, right? The area of your home that is expressive of the throat chakra is the area in the west. It's the area that we connect with creativity. So using something that is creative to you and taking those items and putting them in the west area of your home will help you boost the energy of creativity and expression. Some of the ways that you can do that are using colors of the rainbow, white colors. This is yin metal energy, which is a soft energy. So items that are made of metal, items that have rainbow colors, and the number, the numerology of the West is the number 7. So 7 pieces of artwork, 7 crystal stones, 7 metal objects on your altar, if it's in the West, can help to boost the energy of creativity and expression and the throat chakra. Things like chimes, bells, things that make those little tinkly noises because they're made of metal, that will help to clear the energy of the West. So let's see, what else do I have? Big thing. Creativity is a form of expressing your inner child. So this is a really great place to do your inner child work and to go and play, to sing, to dance, to express yourself in an artistic way. Those are fun things that you can do in the West. And remember that you have the right to ask for what you want and what you need. And say it out loud. Sing it would be even more powerful. Those are my tips for this week, this month.
Awesome. So I have a couple things I want to share. Like Autumn and Star just said, sound is a really big part of opening the throat chakra, obviously. So the meditation that I'm going to suggest that you all do, it's called Ah and Za. So it's kind of the A to Z of the sounds. And if you've ever done any kind of sound meditation, you want to breathe in. You want to lock the diaphragm down, which allows you to use that breath for a really long time. So if you breathe the air into your stomach and then suck your stomach in and lock on the diaphragm, if you practice doing that for just a minute right now, just like breathe in through your nose. And as you breathe in, it's like your belly gets bigger, right? It's not your chest that's going to get bigger. It's going to be your belly that gets bigger. So you breathe in. And then you just, like, you roll your stomach so that it locks that diaphragm in. Okay, and then you open your throat chakra and you say, ah. See, isn't it amazing how long you can go? I could have kept going, but that's not the point of what we're doing. The point is, this is how you want to do this. So ah, and then when you run, it goes out and the sound just will kind of go away with the breath as the breath rolls out. Then you repeat, you breathe in through your nose again, roll that stomach, and it's za. Okay, can you already feel how the throat is open? Can you feel that, just a little bit of that, even if you practice? I know your sound's not on, but can you notice how it even starts to bring maybe a little raspiness to your voice as it starts to open it, right? Because we get used to talking and speaking from a certain tone all of the time, and we tend to not even notice that our tone is not fluctuating, or that we haven't, cleared that area out, because we just get used to how we sound. So practicing ah and za and setting a timer on your phone and doing this a couple of times a day, maybe set it for 5 minutes. That way you close your eyes, you touch your middle finger and thumb together, sit in a comfortable position, and then you breathe in, and you ah, and then you za, and then you breathe in again, and you ah, and you breathe in and you za. And the whole point with this is to it actually will start to help you on your other meditation practices too, because it keeps you into awareness. So if you're going to do a meditation even, you can actually use ah and za to bring your meditation, to bring your mind into awareness, and then go into your other meditations too. So ah and za is one tool. It's a magical tool and it really works. Christopher Penzak, my teacher from the Temple of Witchcraft, actually guided me to do that when I was having specific trouble falling asleep during my meditations. He was like, you need to do ah and za. So that is one tip. The next tip is to take your fingers like a cone, okay? So it's like this. And over your throat chakra, I would like you to just close your eyes for a moment and touch the throat chakra and just listen to what I'm saying. So touch the throat chakra and just close your eyes and breathe in. And now start to make a clockwise motion, like you're just tickling your throat in a clockwise motion, okay? And you're just spinning that chakra or that spark. You're spinning it, okay? And now you can pull it away from your throat just a little bit and speed up the spin. And now you're gonna bring it out further and throw it like a cone, okay? So literally just extend it out. And you'll know when it feels right for you. And open that throat and spin it in that clockwise motion and then throw it with a breath, okay? So it's working on Star.
It really is.
Doesn't matter if you spit at your computer screen.
Jeez.
Yeah, so a couple of those tools will really assist you in using this voice and being able to actually speak with clarity. A lot of the time when I'm on the drive to either filming some of the things I've been filming lately or teaching a class, I will actually like sing the notes like I'm going down the, down the scales, I guess they're called. I am not a pro. I just make it up as I go down the road. Or I'll ah and I'll za, something that just will get this energy flowing through my body and my ability to express through my voice, and using, clearing it, even as I'm standing here or sitting here talking and I'm talking to you, I'm clearing this throat because I can feel like as I'm starting this process, it's bringing stuff in, right? How many, just by, if you want to raise your hand, how many of you have issues with plugged ears? I personally always struggle with plugged ears. Throat and ears, which is all part of it, have really been a lifelong thing for me. I feel like I probably shut down in my life really early. I think that's probably the case for most of us. Much of the time, I think we're possibly born very expressive, right? We cry and we do all those things, and then life starts to happen. And we're told to be quiet from our parents. We're told to be quiet. Shh, stop talking so loud, settle down, right? All of these things that start to happen from the time we're just itty bitty. And pretty soon we start to question our importance of our word at all. We start to actually even, just stop and just shut down. And I remember just one time, maybe it happened twice. So my mom, as dear as she is, moms do this, right? We've all done this. So we're in a public place and I was trying to ask her a question that seemed very important to me that I needed an answer as a 4-year-old right now. And what 4-year-old doesn't need that right now? And she turned in front of the lady at the store and with her hand handed me in my mouth, and I was humiliated. Have any of you ever been publicly humiliated by something like that? So in that moment, I'm like trying to fight the tears back, right? And I just am swallowing everything. And the personality of who I was up to that point, just like that, shifted. And I became withdrawn. I became shy. I did not want to go through humiliation of being popped in the mouth again. And yet I didn't have the expression to be able to say, damn you, don't hit me in the mouth. Like what, I would have got hit in the mouth again, right? So we don't have that choice a lot of the time when we actually start down the pathway of being shut down. Those are our shadows. And the shadow work that we all end up doing starts from something that happened so unconsciously, so matter-of-factly. My mom had every right to put me in my place and say, stop talking to me when I'm talking to someone else, right? She'd probably told me 1,000 other times. But when you're a child, you don't remember that stuff, okay? But I don't blame her. I don't blame her because it's part of my growth in this life. But to recognize the patterns that all of us have somewhere that's happened in our life, and then it deserves some attention. It deserves for us to be able to look at it and to be able to write about it or talk about it or cry about it or feel shame or feel whatever we need to feel to express that so that we can get over it, so that we can move beyond it and be able to tell the story without it making us choke up or cry or shut down. And I know that throat chakras and ears, those spaces of expression, also, as Star and Autumn mentioned, shut down the creativity. And sometimes as children, you know, we, again, feel very invalid in what we create, or it gets shut down, so we stop creating, really because it started right here with something that somebody else said or did, maybe once, maybe a few times, maybe it took 1,000 times before it finally happened, but somewhere along the line, it happened. And we all have this right to learn to express and to express to ourselves first, as Autumn said, and really start to dig in deep and figure out what it is that's making that throat chakra in those ears shut down. My throat has been the very most obvious one my whole life. And lately, for like the last 6 months or so, I've been really paying attention to my ears, because when they clear, I'm like, I can really hear now. That's different. Because I didn't know that I couldn't hear. It's not like I hear it's just muffled or something. So now I'm going to work on the listening, the feminine part of that. And Star just gave me a great clue on that, because I am really good at being masculine. I'm really good at output. I'm really good at charging forward with something. I'm less good at receiving, right? And receiving is a part of, we talked about this in a couple lessons ago, our ability to receive love, our ability to receive from other people. And I've even made the statement that people who can't receive will attract people who can't give. It kind of just goes like this, right? So if I'm in this place now where I'm going to start using my receptive energy, I believe I'm going to be able to do the work on my ears and figure out how to listen to myself, okay? And listening to myself is what Autumn was saying. It's that big part of really, you know, where am I really at right now? Like, because there's the story I tell myself where I'm at, but then where am I really at? That's the truth that we have to learn to give ourselves the gift of. Because, you know, sometimes I think, well, if I'm just expressing myself, then it must be that I'm just going to go out there and be all to the world. No, not necessarily. Sometimes my expression is going to come from, like I just expressed a whole lot of personal stuff to you guys right now. You know, and I want to hear what others of you have had going on in your life that might have been holding you back from being able to express. If you have stuff and you want me to unmute you, you can raise your hand and we'll just kind of go from there. And if you don't, then everybody just go like this. And we'll just keep talking. Anyway.
Can I say one more thing before we go on? So there was one thing that I wanted to bring up, and that is the word for the throat chakra is Vishuada, and it means purification. That's what that means. So when you're doing this, true, you're purifying that. But the thing that I wanted to really express in this whole series is that as we're working through the chakras, we can't really purify this chakra until we purify the lower ones. And so if you're just joining us, it's important that you go back through and start at that base chakra, work your way up through them and purify them before you get up here into this one, because this is the first of the higher chakras. And those lower ones really need to be purified and cleared before you get up here.
So I wanted to add a couple of things with True is suggesting that we are chanting Ah and Za. My personal experience with this was life-changing. About 20 years ago, I was listening to a Wayne Dyer chant, and I used to go out into my car at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was parked in the garage. I didn't want my kids or my husband to hear me because they like to make fun of me, right? I'm sitting there going, ah. And not only did I want them to not make fun of me, I was embarrassed to hear my own voice. I didn't want to hear it. So it was quite life-changing when I went out into my car where nobody could hear me and I chanted, ah. And it was just simply, ah. What I learned is awe is the sacred sound of creation. It's the original sound of creation. When it is in God, Allah, Buddha, Ah. It is so powerful. My throat is clearing as I'm speaking it. It was at that point that I found within me my teaching voice. And that's when I stepped out of doing one-on-one just massage treatments in my wellness center, which is where I started my career 32 years ago. I stepped out of doing the one-on-one treatments and I started doing public speaking, and I produced a meditation CD and I wrote a chakra manual, and it exploded and changed my life when I started chanting. So I would strongly encourage that you do this exercise that True is introducing. It truly changed my life. It's why I'm sitting here as a teacher now, because my throat chakra finally opened and let me step into my authentic self and my life purpose, which is being a teacher. And I also wanted to share that sometimes when True's talking about when she got bopped in the mouth and that held her back, I was fortunate enough, I had a childhood that they encouraged whatever I spoke, and I didn't have a lot of problem in my household with that. However, I always wanted to play the piano. And my best friend played the piano. Everybody played the piano. And that wasn't something that my parents could put in their budget. So when I started having children, the first thing I did was sign them up for piano lessons. And I thought, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to finally learn how to play the piano. I was so excited. So I went to piano lessons with two of my kids. And then it was time for it was over Christmas time, and I had my parents at my house over Christmas time, and we were showing off, and the kids were playing what they had learned in their piano lessons. And of course, you know, their grandma and grandpa cheer them on. Well, then I sit down, a grown woman, the mother of these children, and I'm got fingers like this playing the piano, and I'm playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And my mother burst out laughing. She thought that was hilarious. She was like, okay, a grown woman taking piano lessons, and wow, that's pretty good. And then she scooted me off the bench and she started doing something that she had remembered from her childhood. I never went back to another piano lesson ever again. That was my last time that I played the piano. So as True said, mothers do not intentionally harm their children. That's just not what we do. So it's not just about the voice that our experiences in life can shut down. It's that expression of who we really are. I was expressing as I was playing the piano. And even as a grown woman and three of my own children, I allowed. My mother didn't force that. My mother didn't do that. She's not responsible for that. I allowed myself to shut down, and I never went again. And I still don't know how to play the piano, but I'm good with that. I've learned a lot of other really beautiful lessons from my mother and from people in my life who have taught me about my throat chakra. So it's about sound, whether it's voice. That's my point. It's about sound in the throat chakra. And Whitney, did you raise your hand? Okay, so True will unmute you.
You're good.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to point out that when we don't work on it on the different levels, like out here, like, spiritually, and then you bring it into your aura, and then you bring it into you physically, that it will react. You will have a physical reaction to it. And knowing that we were moving on to the throat chakra, I've actually been dealing with my throat for the last week because I gave myself an injury in my throat. And my biggest lesson was to shut my mouth. It was time for me to listen. I didn't need to speak, I needed to listen. So if we don't deal with it out here, it comes physically here. So that
Good
was
point.
all.
Really good point. Thanks, Whitney. Is there anybody else who would like to share? Just raise your hand up. We'd love to hear more. Oh, good. Okay. Here we go. There you are.
I appreciate this throat, the getting it revved up and doing the ah and the za. So I'm going to start practicing that in the morning before I give my seminar, because my throat is my money. My throat is my profession. And so what some great ideas. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just to get it all revved up.
I like that. Revving it up. That's a new term. I'm going to start adopting that one. Thanks, Kim. Okay. Anybody else have stuff they want to contribute, say, or ask? Yeah.
I'm thinking about the inner child work, and one of the ways that you can kind of go back and figure out, if you want to do inner child work, one of the ways that you can go back and figure out where you lost your voice or where you shut down is to sit down with some photographs of yourself throughout your childhood and, up until where you are now, and look into the face and the eyes of that little girl, and you will be able to identify where this happened. It will bring back some memories for you. It's not easy work necessarily, but identifying, like True, and Star gave their stories about when this happened to them. It's really useful work to identify when that happened, because then you can do the work to click that switch and bring it into the present and clear it.
Thank you. I love that. I wrote that down because I think that's a great tool. I wrote another little note here about guilt and guilt blocking our truth. And I know that as soon as we say the word, we've all probably been in a place, whether it was leaving a relationship, leaving a job, not being enough in somebody's life, not being a great enough parent. I mean, the list can go on for guilt, right? And yet guilt, like, literally is just like this big black cover that covers the truth of what was really going on. If we're feeling guilty about wanting to change who we are inside of our relationship, the truth is something in the relationship needs to change. And we deserve, not only do we deserve to speak the truth about that and to really, examine that and look at that, but so does the person we're in the relationship with. Because do we really want to continue going through life deceiving them while we deceive ourselves? Because guilt is what's guiding, the show. And guilt is a huge part of why we don't express our truth. So anybody have some input on that?
Guilt and shame,
Shame, big one. Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah. Both there.
Allie, I see you want to talk. I see you.
I'll talk.
All right.
I'll talk. Am I unmuted?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So a couple of thoughts. I love the stories of where you were silenced, because I think people have those experiences, and it's so helpful to go back and identify, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that clearly, and how I stopped speaking, and my friends changed, and my world changed in that moment. And I didn't have that experience necessarily, although maybe not speaking was encouraged, but singing was. So in my household, singing was celebrated. So being able to sing from a young age and knowing that I could express myself that way, I think was invaluable to me growing up. And having kids and raising kids, that was the rule. When you were in the car or the friends were in the car, the rule was you had to sing, right? I don't care if you can't sing, we're just singing. Everybody's singing, and we just get to celebrate and sing. So, so kind of the opposite of that, but I think super helpful. I don't think I'll ever tell my grandchildren now to be quiet. Like, I don't think I'll ever do that, right? In hindsight, you'll just stop, listen. Their attention spans are so much smaller than ours. They can take 30 seconds of our time and we can listen to them. I think that's super valuable. What was my other thought? Guilt. Oh my gosh, guilt, right? Who doesn't have guilt? Like we have to be the perfect wife. We have to be the perfect parent. We have to be the perfect friend. We have to be the perfect sister. And who would want anything less from us than our true selves, truly? Like, we put those parameters on us that we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough, I better act this way, I better not say this. We're the ones doing that, not anybody else. And if they truly valued us and wanted us to be in their lives, they would want nothing less than us, than our perfect selves, nothing less than our truest selves. So not only do we do ourselves a disservice, but to your point, we do them a disservice completely. And we do our children a disservice. They see that. They see when we're acting that way, and when we're not acting in alignment to who we are. They see it probably more clearly than we do most days.
I agree with that. They do. They really see that. Thanks, Allie. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I see
Sure.
Danielle has a hand raised, so I don't see her, but I'm going to unmute right now, Danielle, for you. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're a little muffly, but we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, my headphones are kind of weird sometimes. So I love being in this group and having the support and having all you ladies mirror what I've experienced. Around the throat chakra, I've experienced a lot of trauma in this life and I'm sure previous life. And I'm learning to speak my truth and to what I'm going through and stuff. And what I've realized the past month is that my whole life I have felt guilty for being myself and for just doing normal things. I felt like I always was doing something wrong. So my intention for this winter is to just go within to rest in a way, rest like physically, but just to start writing, to write my stories, cut out a lot of the things I've been doing, and just get all this stuff out so I can express myself in the way that I've always wanted to. So, yeah, that's all.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I just put Danielle on mute. Is there anybody else?
Stephanie.
There we go. Okay. There you go, Steph.
So for me, the throat chakra has been my big one. I grew up in a chaotic family, a mother who was narcissistic. So it was all about her. And even if you expressed yourself, it was negated. It wasn't important enough. So for me, you know, it was always be quiet. I swallowed tons and tons, what you're talking about, poisonous. Even through my marriage, with my husband who's passed away now, I have a huge aversion to confrontation, so I would avoid it. And anything that we were doing together, like when we bought this house, I wanted something different from him, but I just swallowed it back and let him have it. I didn't want to speak my truth. And I think it was just, I learned that growing up. We were to be seen and not heard. We weren't valued. Even when I told my mother that my uncle was molesting us, it was too bad, be quiet. We don't want to hurt your grandma's feelings. So for me, it's been layer after layer after layer of working and opening up to be able to speak my truth. And I know I've had many lifetimes where I've been killed for it. And I think in a healing session, even with Star, I saw a snake come out that had been shoved down my throat. So this is a big one for me. I remember once I was taking a course called Chronic Healing, and we were sweeping out with color our throat chakras. And I started to cough and cough and cough and cough. And pretty soon I couldn't stop. And I had to leave. There was about 100 people in the classroom. And I hacked and hacked and hacked in the bathroom until I would choke, till I almost throw up. I did that for about 20 minutes, just from doing that cleansing on my throat. So for me, I know there's still lots more layers. This is my big one though. So I'm hoping to keep working on it because, for me, it's like, I've always had a fear of speaking my truth or doing what I want to do. And after my husband died, I've been slowly working on that, but I've still always, something would always hold me back. So this is my big one that I always need to work on, is being able to speak up and speak my truth, and just sort of step out and do it, because I have a fear, even a fear of judgment and maybe being told to shut up. So
Yeah.
this is a big one for me too. So.
Thanks, Steph. And we promise in this group this month to give you a lot of tools, everyone a lot of tools. We've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experiences, and we all have our own set of issues that we get to share amongst you that sometimes resonates with some of you. And we promise that we will do our part to make this month capable and able for you to really clear out your fifth spark and step into playing with us for expression.
So this is the month to participate, everybody. This is the month to participate. Say a little something throughout the month and open your throat chakra. I promise you, it feels amazing. It's like an orgasm in your throat and mouth. It's awesome.
I think that most women, this is the biggie for them. I would, at least from my experience with my clients, the throat chakra is the biggie for most of them. And Stephanie, I'm going to say to you, because I know that you are a rooster, your purpose here on this earth is to use that voice, to learn to use your voice. That's what the rooster does. It wakes everybody up. And you have the power within you to wake everybody up. You've had so many classes and trainings and tools that you have learned. And knowing you and what I do know about you is that you're extremely powerful, and you are here on this earth at this time to wake everybody up.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So
Sorry.
we're just,
Can I say one thing too? Because I'm leaving for San Diego right after this call, they're normally within an hour. By tomorrow morning, you would get an email that recaps the call. The link will be sent to the Facebook group. The email will show up probably when I get back, just because I don't have all the parts. I don't have the time to put the parts there. But you'll get the email, you'll get the link in the Facebook group, and then you'll get the email on Monday. Okay?
all right. Well, happy birthday, True. I hope today was amazing for you. And I know you're leaving for San Diego right now, and have an amazing trip. You totally deserve it.
Thank you. I will.
And we love you.
We love you, and we love all of you, and we will see you on our page, Soul Spark 7, Witchy Goddess Sister Tribe. We got it.
Thank you, everyone.
Mwah.
Night night.
Have a good night.